And that's in like thick with two C's, like it's like a really curvy. I'm talking just like I want elves that are wide. Is no okay? I don't like it's fine, but if I go to Wendy's, there are 10 things I would pick before the Baconator.
Is there a way that I can put out into the world that I have like a severe gambling problem so Google stops showing me betting apps?
Live from New York, it's 10 a.m. on a Monday.
Woo! 10 a.m. on a Monday. You know,
I feel like you're bringing a lot more energy to this than I am.
I was thinking about it on Sunday morning when I texted you guys and I'm like, hey, 1:30, let's go. Because I'm like, I need to pick up some food for Valentine's Day dinner. And then as I send that message thinking that, yes, I must prep for Valentine's Day, I'm like, oh, wait, it's Valentine's Day. Maybe the guys have plans, and I just never thought to even check. And as it turns out, y'all did. But here we are now, and that's what counts.
That is what counts. It's a look behind the curtain. The secret
life of Zach and Cody.
No, that's not. It wasn't the secret life. I do like the idea of like the secret life of Zach and Cody, where everything's the same, but this time like they just lie more.
Honestly, I feel like that's all that the show was them
just lying to their mom.
Just lying constant. I didn't watch it a lot, but every episode I've seen is basically them being like, what? No, we weren't running in the lobby. Wink. And then they like commit
Mr. Mosby. He's
felonies.
Like,
and then they get away with it.
That is the thing about a lot of like, specifically like Disney and like Nickelodeon kids shows, is a lot of them were just like children doing things that are like federally illegal.
Mm-hmm.
And then being like, whoops. Like, what are you gonna do? Oh, we set a bomb off in a public building.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a bomb made of baking soda, and everyone's like, "Aw."
Exactly. It's just like a bunch of little things that, when taken individually, it's just like, oh, I guess that's not that bad. But then you'd like, no, actually, no, this is actually pretty terrible.
I feel like The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody was just like children running around on like in a hotel, and then lying to their mom about what they were doing in the hotel.
And scamming adults. I feel like there was a lot of scamming adults.
For sure.
Man, that's an era of TV I am a little bummed I missed out on. Like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Drake and Josh, like all that stuff. I never really watched any of it because I was only into the cartoon side of things. So, you know, I'm pretty well versed in SpongeBob. But I have no idea what was up with the shows I was supposed to start watching once I became a preteen and a teen, because I was too obsessed with still just watching SpongeBob up until I was like 23. I'm like, SpongeBob, nice. You know?
I mean, I get that. I feel like Zack and Cody was definitely like one of the weirder ones because like they literally just lived in a fancy hotel and then on a boat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the boat threw me off. I saw that one and I was just like, I wonder why they're on a boat. And then it was like the Caribbean cruise life with Zack and Cody or whatever it's called. And I'm just like, wait, that's an individually branded thing. This is a whole series.
I think it was like a spin-off episode where they're like, oh, they're on a cruise ship now. And then like probably to promote like Disney cruises. And then all of a sudden it was like, hey, in the show, you're going to high school on a boat.
Yeah, that's weird, right? Like,
yes.
Like no one thinks that it's normal for that. I think I saw the first episode where like one of them blew their entire, however many months they were going to be on the boat, blew their entire budget in a day. I don't know though.
That sounds right.
I don't know. It's fun, you know, like you got to have some ridiculousness to shows. It's nice that there are shows that exist in people's memories that are not just, that don't have like as much drama and peril. Cause I've seen a lot of adults complaining about this, that all kids shows are like dangerous and have like high stakes going on. And on one hand, I'm like, yeah, well, that's just how life is, and kids better learn to deal with it. And then
okay.
And then other parts of me is just like, actually, no, it's fair. Kids deserve to have some normal entertainment that isn't entertainment that adults also find enjoyable on some level. It's okay to have stuff that's just like dumb. I guess as long as you don't watch too much of it, right?
You don't want to have like a I mean, like, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody goes pretty hard, but then you don't. It doesn't need to be every other episode. It's revealed that like your dad was secretly a war criminal.
Exactly. Which is a really
It's-
weird decision that they decided to do in iCarly, but like I respect it.
It's really true. Like their dad just shows up. It's like, I'm a general in the Navy. I'm going back to the submarine now, and everyone's like, what a direction, and what a turn, what a memorable turn, because even you know that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes you got to catch up on like the wildest points of children's television top 10 Watch Mojo videos, but other ones like that's just kind of in the public consciousness, if we're being honest.
iCarly's dad war criminal. The last thing you'd want in your YouTuber cartoons, your kid show, is someone else's war crimes. But that might just be what you got.
Honestly, bold move considering he was one of like 3 adults on the entire show. I don't know. It's a decision.
I just love the Burger King foot lettuce voice. Burger King foot lettuce.
I go back and forth on it. Because on one hand I'm like, man, that sucks. And then on the other hand, I'm like, there's some people that just will not stop saying it to, like saying the voice around me. And I'm like, I am begging you to not do the Burger King foot lettuce again.
It's so good. It's so good though.
So speaking of things that we want to stop, is there a way that I can put out into the world that I have like a severe gambling problem so Google stops showing me betting apps? Because I'm getting really sick of it.
Gambling problem?
Oh, I'm okay with getting that reputation if it means that Google stops showing me BetMGM Sportsbook and FanDuel. I'm so done. It's boring. It is. I'm not going to use it.
Become a member of DraftKings.
I see these ads so often, and it doesn't matter how many times I tell YouTube that I don't want to see them. It doesn't matter how many times I mark the ads as not interesting, thumbs down, or block the Twitter accounts. I'm just stuck here constantly with all these ads. I don't even know what made it that I like following sports that much even.
The thing is, how it does that is, so we've reached an awful stage in the marketing sector where all of a sudden it's literally just legal to put a casino on people's cell phones.
Yeah.
And as a result, that cell phone casino now has global reach, so it doesn't have to be a targeted ad anymore. So the companies like MGM that are literally just like making billions off of betting and gambling are able to then immediately advertise to literally every cell phone, because if you own a cell phone, you are now able to download and participate in their scheme. So basically, casinos have always had immense marketing power, but small reach. And now you've given them that same immense marketing power because it's not only addictive, but also it gives people an out, gives people a way to get away from like their struggling and their hardships.
Mm-hmm.
And you combine that with an unlimited reach that is available instantly within your pocket. And that's why they are inescapable, because now that they finally got the ability to grab you, they are going to continue to market to everybody until they are either memed underground or they are invaded into everyone's conscious. Which is not the worst thing, because there are experiences with like they can keep doing it and it can work, but we've also seen lately, especially in marketing, it's not as effective as companies think it used to be.
No,
it's not like that magic bullet of like mobile marketing, because the biggest meme in the universe is Raid Shadow Legends.
Honestly,
have you ever downloaded Raid Shadow Legends?
Absolutely not.
How many ads have you seen for Raid Shadow Legends?
At least 700.
How many do you think you've seen today?
Unironically, 3.
And that's the thing. Like the fact that it is so inescapably
10 a.m.
advertised
on a Monday, and I've already seen 3 ads for Raid Shadow Legends.
And that's the thing. Like it's funny at this point because it's not gonna work, and it's not gonna reach new audiences by telling people to play it.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, they're just wasting their money getting every content creator to put an ad for Raid Shadow Legends in. So YouTubers are just making bucks off of it, and everyone else is just like, this is silly.
From what I understand, Raid Shadow Legends gives you a $10,000 plus deal, and that's like their base offer is, hey, 10 grand. Talk about Raid, and there will be like YouTubers who have done Raid sponsorships in the past, and then knowing it's such a meme, when they lead into their sponsor for that week, they'll be like, today's sponsor is Raid Shadow. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you. but then they'll still take it because Raid Shadow Legends doesn't seem to care. They're still gonna just shovel their money at people, even if you've like disparaged them before, which I think is a wild strategy. They just, I don't know. But yeah, I really hope that people start to like shit on these betting apps soon, because firstly, while it's not actually a problem for me, it is a huge problem for some people.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, there are people who should not or would really rather not be exposed to all of this gambling ability all the time.
Yeah,
I know
and that's
I
the
wouldn't.
problem. Yeah.
And I used to think it was because I played mobile games, right? So I'm like, well, loot box mechanics are really heavy in mobile games. They translated
a bit of a
that
gamer, everybody.
in. And so I was thinking that it was like just a targeted ad based on that. But I haven't opened a mobile game in like 2 months now, and it's still a problem.
Yeah, it's just like an ever-present marketing scheme that's meant to drive you into the ground. Speaking of things that go on forever and drive you into the ground, I had a birthday the other day.
Wild.
Did
it go on forever and drive you into the ground?
No, but life does.
Damn.
And eventually, you know, quite literally.
It's
well, not
like
forever.
that.
I mean, conceptually forever. But I have to tell you the story of one time, when I was like really like starting to like kind of freak out. So I, full disclosure, I was very I had imbibed cannabinoids to a large extent.
Yeah.
And I proceeded to sit there and like with like my friends and just be like, hey, like what came first? Like life or like rocks? And they were like, what? And then I started to like lose my mind. I was like, so like when did life originate? And basically none of them would give me like any kind of like answer. They were all just like really confused. And then the next day I realized I'm like, oh, so I was just talking about like the origin of life, which is something that like no one knows.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, so that makes complete sense as to why I was confused by it, because there's not an answer. And I was like, oh, okay.
Wild.
And I was like, no, like where did like the first like living cell come from? And then my friends were like, I don't know. And then I was like, you're acting like, and then they were like acting like I was like crazy, and I was like, I'm not crazy. And then I woke up the next day, I was like, wait, yeah, no, that's like kind of the central like argument behind a lot of rhetoric that is very divisive. So it's reasonable that I was confused by it because there's no straight answer. But at the time I was like, what came first, things or rocks?
That is fantastic. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of life, yeah, I turned 24, and we made dumplings. I was thrown a surprise-ish birthday party.
Enough of a surprise.
Yeah, I didn't really see it coming. It was 4 or 5 friends, and it's so early, Noah. It's 11. I can't. You think people listen to the podcast in the morning?
They do. I know for a fact, because I'll wake up on Thursdays, and by the time I start work around 9 or 10, we'll have someone in the chat talking about, hey, so you guys said some shit today, and here's how it works. Shout out to Sam for applying doctoral knowledge on our talk about, what was it? Steroids. Testoster 2. Honestly, I'm amazed Jeff didn't bring up Testoster 2 in hindsight.
I really loved that, like, that initial conversation with Jeff, and he was like, yeah, this guy was trying to, like, sell me steroids. Like, this guy at the gym just tries to sell me steroids on Instagram, and I was like, Jeff, that's a drug dealer.
It's just a drug dealer. You're right.
It's just a drug dealer. That's a drug dealer, Jeff. It's like we got him a steroid salesman. That's what it was.
Steroid salesman.
He's a steroid salesman. I was like, Jeff, that's a drug dealer.
I do love the idea of a steroid salesman, though. Just like, hello, sir. Can I interest you in this top quality Testoster 1? Perhaps Testoster 2? And Jeff is just like,
I personally, I am a crack salesman. Yes, I'm one of the finest crack salesmen in the region. That was just really funny. I was like, what do you mean? A steroid salesman?
When did he say that? Was that at the 4th of July?
I think it was at your bachelor party.
It was. That was it. That was it. Man, I have such a loose connection of time for like the entirety of the last year. Everything just kind of melded together, and I have no clue what was happening. Someone asked me, I don't remember what they asked me at this point. It was 2 days ago. No fucking hell, it was yesterday morning. But anyway, someone asked me this really basic question that involved me remembering that 2020 happened at all. And for whatever reason, the entire year, I have filtered most of the memories off into other years already. And I don't know why. It was just weird. It's like it's not like I'm forgetting that the year happened, right? But it's like my brain was just like, yeah, that happened what, like 2 years ago? Something like that. Yeah, we'll go 2 years ago.
I think part of like what like obviously, there's like the whole like 2020 is cursed. But literally it's just, it's just the date. But I think the reason why it's kind of hard to like think back to it and like put things on a timeline is because the combination of like a global pandemic and also like so many systemic and societal issues coming to a head at once
Yeah.
you literally have like an entire year where you spent most of it, hopefully, sitting at home.
Yep.
Just sitting at home. Yet at the same time, on a grander scale, things were constantly happening. So you have this like whiplash of like it felt like nothing happened to you, but everything was happening all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, like on my front, like I moved Nina here from Seattle. I got married and I changed jobs and I moved. So like that's four reasonably big events for me already. And then
those are like 4 major life events.
On top of that, I got locked inside for coming up on a full year very soon. Haven't seen my family too much. Like I think I could count on like maybe two, like within my 10 fingers, I could count the number of times I saw my family last year. And that's like, that's kind of weird. But meanwhile, like I was very plugged into like politics last year and trying to keep up on things because I had nothing else to do because I was locked inside and couldn't do anything. So I'm sitting here with my own major life events going on, watching the world burn past me at a crazy rate with so many things, to the point where I'm just like, yeah, when did this happen? When did that happen? I don't know. Something happened.
Yeah, 2017. Honestly, like I don't know if I'm just becoming a boomer now that I'm 24 or what, because I don't like people will be like that happened in 2017 and I was like, what's 2017? You guys remember that? People did things.
I have so many different events that have been popping up in my Facebook memories, or like memories I've had of going to a movie or something in the theater that are like objectively timeable events so that I can see when these things happened. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, I thought that was so much longer ago. That was 2016. That was 2018. Like all these different things that I like.
Yeah.
It feels.
I mean, no, 2016
so
was
long ago.
some things in 2016 were 5 years ago.
That's dead insane to me.
I know, but it's crazy. So anyway, for my birthday, we had a little gathering of sorts, because my birthday was also, as I've spoken about before, it was Lunar New Year. So we did like a little themed kind of deal.
Nice.
And yeah, it was mostly a surprise to me. I had like some inkling that there was like a gathering going on because I went and got the ingredients with my girlfriend for making the dumplings, and we got like a lot more than I would have thought we needed for 2 people.
Yeah, that would do it. That would do it.
Yeah, it was fun. We just had we made like a big bowl of like dumpling mixture, and we made like 100. And then we still have a ton of it left.
What are you gonna do with it?
Yeah, then we probably freeze it.
That's a good idea. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, probably gonna like roll it into basically like a sausage and then freeze it in like a cling wrap and probably the big win aluminum foil.
And then gotta make some big wins there.
Yeah, you gotta get some big wins. we just kind of like hung out. Didn't really do too much else crazy. Just talked, chatted, made dumplings, ate cake with cheesecake.
That's the way to do it, though.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really have like a giant. Oh, you can have like a giant party, but you shouldn't.
You really, really
And I
should.
don't really like that many. I don't really like that many people anyway. So yeah, we just did some small stuff. And the day before, what did you do?
Well, the day before, I definitely didn't spend time with a friend making chocolate covered strawberries.
It's true, and that friend was me.
Haha. Man,
so for
pro tip
go ahead.
for chocolate dipping people. As
Mhm.
we all know,
Yeah.
water will make your chocolate seize and dead unusable. You can't use it anymore. However, did you know that Bailey's does the same thing? Because I don't know why in my mind it was not just non-creams make chocolate seize, because I should have realized that alcohol would do that. I should have realized that Bailey's is not actually cream based, things like that. But I didn't realize that. And we tried to put Bailey's into our one chocolate mixture, and it turned the chocolate into a texture that I could only describe as brownies, but it was really dry and nasty. So yeah, don't do that.
It's bad.
Don't do that.
But yeah, we made a chocolate covered strawberries. We made different types,
and
only one of the mixtures was bad.
Exactly. I'm personally thrilled with how everything turned out. The matcha ones were very, very good. The dark chocolate dipped in brown sugar were very, very good. And the
milk chocolate were cursed.
Yeah, they were so close to being okay, but they just weren't.
Yeah, we put like a taro powder in the milk chocolate ones, and then they got a little bit clumpy, so we needed to like thin them out a little bit. And then I didn't have anything except for alcohol in my fridge, so like I didn't have like milk or cream or anything, so I had Bailey's.
It's one of those things where, like, in hindsight, I feel like it's one of those things that like one or both of us should have thought ahead on that front and been like, oh, wait a minute, let me make sure I have some stuff on hand. But also, like, oh, where were we going to be thinking that far ahead? Let's be real here. That's a lot of thinking ahead.
Yeah, I already got the chocolate and all the little mix-ins. That's thinking ahead enough.
Exactly. I went and got more strawberries than we could ever have needed. And it worked out. I don't know. It was a good time. You know what else I got while I was out and about that day, by the way?
What?
I got this polar blackberry seltzer, or black cherry seltzer.
Black cherry, yeah.
Yeah. So you got to try this the other day because I brought one to you because I'm like, this is going to be tasty and I'm going to talk about it on the podcast. So I'll make him listen to me talk about it. So he at least has tried it. And it's really good. I like how flavor forward it is. I like how it actually has it has a nice like scent and a nice flavor going on. Nina and I shared the grapefruit bubbly yesterday, and it tastes like bad orange candy. And it smells like bad orange candy as well. It's not a good one. And that is where I think I'm landing on bubblies, is that they smell too strong and they just don't taste that great. So I think I'm going to pass on them in the future. But this,
I can see it.
Yeah. But this black cherry seltzer, very, very nice. Not as bubbly as Wegmans brand stuff, which is almost too bubbly for me sometimes. That's a lot of fizz.
Coward.
I know I am a coward. It's very, very, very fizzy, which is fine if that's what you're after. Sometimes it's a little too much for me, whereas this black cherry is just, I don't know, it's quite pleasant. It's quite nice. I like it a lot.
Quite nice.
Quite nice.
I like it a lot. So I have some bad news for you, this brand sparkling water heads. For you seltzer heads out there. I actually have acquiesced a soda stream.
Oh.
So that's what Maury got me for my birthday.
Oh, that's great.
So now I can make sparkling water at home. No longer tied down by the cans of Wegmans.
Damn, moving up in the world.
I was even in Wegmans the other day, and I was like, man, I should get some more sparkling water. And I was like, wait, no need.
That's the way to
Yeah.
do it. Now, have you done anything with it yet?
Made sparkling water.
Wow.
I know, huge shocker. Yeah, it's fun though. It's a good time. I've actually been drinking a lot of it because it's just good.
Mm-hmm.
I think I probably have went through 3 or 4 liters in the last couple of days for just making sparkling water. So it's a good device. It's very handy.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to try carbonating other things with it.
Like things that are illegal to carbonate kind of things, or...
Like, there's things that are illegal to carbonate.
Well, I mean, they should be if they're not.
Like what?
Like gravy, for example.
No, not the gravy.
There's an entire TikTok subculture of people.
Was it you telling me about that, or was it Chad?
Yeah, I think it might have been me.
Okay. Because I know someone brought up the gravy.
Yeah, I brought up the gravy. I don't know. There's just these 2 people I see on TikTok who carbonate things. And you know, sometimes it's just cursed.
So apparently carbonated orange juice is really good.
That actually does sound quite nice.
Carbonated coffee. That might be worth trying.
I don't know that I'd want that, but you know what? I guess I would try that too.
Apparently you can just put wine in there and make at-home champagne.
That's such a good idea. Well, I mean, like, maybe it's not a good idea, but that's such a good idea.
Damn, all I have is this bottle of red wine, but my friends want champagne. What should I do? I know, I'll put it in the soda stream.
Red champagne. You know, it's only champagne if it's from the Champagne region of France. Otherwise, it's a sparkling abomination.
Red champagne. I'm gonna move to the Champagne region of France and just carbonate bottled wine
with the soda stream. That's awful.
Yeah, this is technically champagne. If you get that from the next town over, that's actually sparkling wine. I love the idea of doing that.
That's so good.
And you can just carbonate straight up liquor. Apparently whiskey carbonates the best.
No. Really?
I think the problem I have, though, is that, like, carbonating things with the soda stream requires you to, like, you can't just, like, put a tablespoon in, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you gotta put, like, you know, a good bit in there. Like, you gotta fill up the bottle a good bit, or else it's not gonna actually carbonate.
Yeah.
So, like...
So you gotta commit to an awful lot.
To half a bottle of whiskey getting carbonated.
Which, you know, sometimes that's okay, but other times it's just like, especially in the case of whiskey, are you going to sit there and drink 12 ounces of whiskey just so that you can see what carbonated whiskey tastes like? I would hope not.
Coward.
That sounds like a good activity to do once, like, you can have friends over again and just be like, hey, who wants to partake in some soda stream whiskey? I call it champagne whiskey. And just see how people react.
No, it's only champagne whiskey if it's from the Champagne region of France.
Oh, my mistake. Imagine just bringing a bottle of Jack Daniels into Champagne, France, and then soda stream it.
Hey, actually, that's technically just sparkling whiskey.
Imagine distilling your own whiskey in the Champagne region of France.
Well, you don't have to distill it, you just have to carbonate it there. Because then it'll be from that area.
Slap it. Get a little sticker that says "now with bubbles" and just place it on the label. That way you've actually changed it.
Now with bubbles, and then googly eyes over the O's in the label if there happen to be any.
Oh, 100%.
I'm trying to think of like a popular whiskey brand that has O's in it. I guess Jameson.
Yeah, I was trying to think.
And Jim Beam don't have any O's.
No Jack Daniels, no Jim Beam, no Bullet.
Blit. Whoa. No, we don't curse in Russian on this show.
Oh, my bad.
Curse in thug in English. Am I right, everybody?
Damn.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Good one.
So, some people sent Valentine's Day cards to my place of employment for the staff.
Okay.
And one of our new staff members, it was announced that in addition to working here, he is a manager at Chick-fil-A. Now,
Okay.
this is important because the people in every single Valentine card put a $10 Chick-fil-A gift card. So this guy who works at Chick-fil-A got multiple Chick-fil-A cards in his Valentine's Day like thank you card. And he's just like, I mean, I'm really grateful. But apparently these people did not remember that I work for 40 plus hours a week at Chick-fil-A already, and I don't really feel like eating more of their food.
Yeah. They are opening a second one in Erie.
They are.
That means 0 to me because okay. The thing about Chick-fil-A and me is I don't like it that much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate it, but like if you're like, hey, we are going to Erie, what do you want to do? You want to get Chick-fil-A? I'd be like, no.
Mm-hmm. Nah, same here.
If I'm like in a place where I'm like it's like some middle of nowhere and there's a McDonald's or a Chick-fil-A, I'll go to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
Like
I trust
over
Chick-fil-A, random Chick-fil-A more than a random other thing, depending on the area. You know, like you can kind of get the vibe.
Well, I also just like I prefer like Chick-fil-A over McDonald's or like Chick-fil-A over like Burger King.
Mm-hmm.
Wendy's, honestly, you could probably get me to go to Wendy's first. They got better salads than Chick-fil-A. That's just straight up facts.
Wendy's slaps.
Wendy's salads
really
are so
like
good.
Wendy's.
Yeah. Wendy's is honestly fire. Their chili, amazing. Their salads, amazing. Their burgers, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem is, so like sometimes when my parents come up for the weekend, they'll like stop and get like fast food somewhere, and like whenever they come like get to the house, they'll like be like, "Hey, we got you something." It's always like if they ever go to Wendy's, it's always like a Baconator. I don't like the Baconator.
Really?
I don't like. It's fine, but if I go to Wendy's, there are 10 things I would pick before the Baconator. Any of the salads, they usually have like 3. So good. With the grilled chicken and like the balsamic, sometimes the fried chicken. If they have like a seasonal dressing, you usually get that because sometimes they're really, really good. Like they had like like a peach balsamic last summer. It was super good. I don't remember. Some kind of fruity balsamic dressing. It was so good. Anyway, then you go, if you can't get one of the salads, if you're on the go or something, then you get the spicy nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't get the spicy nuggets, you get the spicy chicken sandwich. If you can't get that, you get the regular chicken sandwich. Then you do the regular nuggets, and then you get like one of like the Dave's singles, one of the quarter-pound burgers that are like super good, the tomato and lettuce and onion and everything. The Baconator is just it's fine, but it's just like cheese, meat, bacon, mayonnaise, and ketchup.
Mm-hmm.
I like Wendy's because they've got like the fresh beef, and they've got the leaf lettuce and the tomato slices, and like that's what I like for Wendy's burgers. That's just me.
See, I don't mind the Baconator, but when it comes to bacon burgers, Wendy's just a little too much for their bacon. Kind of sucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
I really like Burger King's bacon burger. I found that to be actually quite nice, but I don't know. Baconator, I'll eat a Baconator. I'll happily eat a Baconator still, but I would much prefer to eat something else because I've always found Wendy's burgers to be like a little too greasy for me.
I don't mind them.
I don't mind
you
them
gotta
either,
get with
but
the lettuce and the tomato.
That's exactly it. If you eat them with the lettuce and tomato, they go down real easy. And I've just had issues with swallowing them. Sometimes it feels like they bind up on the way down, and it's just like a big lump of Wendy's food going down my throat, and I don't like that.
I can't say I've experienced that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is because I know it is a very specific it's a very specific sensation, and I don't like it. But it hasn't stopped me from eating Wendy's, so there we go. I literally can't believe we've only been talking for 30 minutes at this point, because I feel like I've been sitting here for 3 hours, because our time talking about the sweet life of Zach and Cody feels like forever ago. You can't convince me otherwise. Also, I don't know if you're still here. Come to think of it, you've been silent for a hot second, and now I'm starting to worry that there's been a mistake and something's wrong.
Yes. So you missed my response to your saying that it, because I don't know if my microphone picked it up. I don't think it did, because I think it got unplugged. But you missed the part where you said it felt like 3 hours ago that you were talking about Zack and Cody, and I started singing Through Glass.
I don't know, that classic Stone Sour song.
And no one ever tells you that from a river feels like home. Listen to Zack and Cody songs.
Oh my gosh. How dare you do that to me? I'm like, I don't know, I'll sing along with Jackson just this once. Why not? And then you change the words on me like a bastard.
But I expect you done something with the cruise ship.
Hey, you know what? Actually, I have something to talk to you about specifically, because I think you're the one that put this name in my head. I don't know why, but the name Dennis Quaid pops into my mind from time to time, and I think it's your fault.
Why?
I feel like you've mentioned Dennis Quaid.
I don't even know who Dennis Quaid is, but I know the name.
I don't know who Dennis Quaid is either, is the problem. I just know that I've heard the name.
Why do you blame me for your thoughts on Dennis Quaid?
I don't even know who he is. Dennis Quaid. Who the hell is this man? I don't even think I've seen any movies he's in.
CMFT must be stopped.
Man, he really must be stopped.
But back to like the fast food stuff, I feel like Chick-fil-A is so overrated.
I would agree. I used to be
hard
also
in
really
the camp. Hate the rhetoric around it.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
When like people will talk about it and they'll be like, I don't care if they, kill gay people in the building. Their chicken's so good. I'm like, it really is just fast food chicken, and they really are doing like some pretty unsavory stuff.
They really are.
And the problem is like you like the people who are like, they'll be like, well, they give free chicken to people who are protesting that outside. You're like, yeah, that's the stores. The stores are sometimes very good, and the owners of the stores, the franchisees, sometimes. Yeah. And the employees oftentimes are great because they're literally just fast food employees.
But the company, as a company,
is
not exactly a great crew. I used to be very in the camp of, yeah, it's the best fast food chicken sandwich. But I don't think I'm in that camp anymore, because while I really do think that if you get one of those sandwiches fresh, I have not found a sandwich at a fast food restaurant that competes with it yet.
With what, Chick-fil-A?
Yeah. I haven't tried the Popeyes one yet. I've heard the Popeyes one is actually really good. It
was pretty hard.
But until I try that, I don't know. But I gotta be honest, I have, I've come to this thought where it's, at the end of the day, it's not really that great, it's, as soon as it cools down, it's not that different from a McDonald's chicken sandwich. It's not that different from a Burger King chicken sandwich. It's not that different from a Wendy's chicken sandwich. As soon as it's not within 5 minutes of having come out of that fryer, it's not that good. It's just normal. And I think that's what really gets to me after a while, is that it's like, it is not that. I think their nuggets are still the best. I'll give them on that, on the nuggets, because the nuggets are really, really good. But then they don't have like the spicy nugget variants that like Wendy's and them have. So like, am I willing to trade off what I think is a slightly less good nugget for a better flavor profile? I think yes.
Yeah, I just don't really have like that much. I don't know. I think when it comes to fried chicken, for me, I love like a good like crunchy, crispy fried chicken, and Chick-fil-A has literally one ion of breading.
Yeah, like like
it's well done chicken, and it's like tasty and it's like juicy, but like I want to crunch it.
Because like the sneaky pro tip of crunchy chicken is you put a little bit of your liquid into your breading so that you actually have lumps that'll catch on, in addition to other various things to make your breading actually cook crispy, right? But Chick-fil-A doesn't do that. Our breading doesn't have cornstarch in it. I say our like I still work there. Good Lord. It's been it's been 4 years at this point, something like that. But yeah, let me still say our. Good Lord. Anyway, yeah, the breading seasoning is okay. I like the seasoning on the breading, but it doesn't have the stuff that makes it a true like crispy, crunchy sandwich in it. And they teach you to clean out the breading so it stays a thin breading instead of a thick, crunchy breading. Like, it's
For uniformity, though.
it is. It's more uniform. It is a nice, consistent product. But I don't know. I'm with you. I want a crunchy, crispy breaded sandwich. And it doesn't
Honestly,
always deliver. Or and it doesn't ever
hot
deliver.
take, incendiary take.
Mm.
I prefer KFC to Chick-fil-A.
I can't agree because the KFC in town is really bad.
I like it. I might be the only person on the earth. Everyone else seems to hate KFC. I like KFC.
I don't mind KFC. I just don't like the KFC here in town. Also, I don't think it's super fair to compare KFC because their core, the only comparison is that they do chicken. I think their core components are just a different type of fried chicken in general. And they absolutely kill with them,
Mm-hmm.
Although I hear Bojangles gives them a run for their money.
Bojangles is really good, but not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, top tier fast food place, we don't have it around here. But where my sister lives in Virginia, they have it. It's called Cookout.
Cookout? Is that a barbecue place?
Good. No, it's just like
damn.
It's like Sonic on crack.
Okay.
In a good way. So it's like it's kind of like the drive-through, like little bit of a car hoppy vibe, but not that much. All the ones I've been to anyway, there's no like dining room, there's no lobby. You just walk up to either a window or you go in the drive-through. And it's like it's really cheap, it's pretty good, and like the sides, like some of the side options are like corn dogs and chicken nuggets.
Huh.
It's good.
That does sound actually really good, not gonna lie. It kind of just sounds like they have just all the food that certain chains that are like, oh yeah, we got all the options here, but they actually have all the options.
Yeah, they have a ton of stuff, and it's all pretty good, and it's all super cheap.
I wonder what that would be like to work at, because the bigger the menu, the more miserable it is to work, especially if it's fast food.
It's not that big though. It's just like it's direct. It's like it doesn't have everything, but they have a lot of the stuff that like you would think, and then they also have a lot of like the things that only one place offers. Otherwise, like corn dogs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And their chicken nuggets are also fire.
Nice.
They're kind of like the Chick-fil-A style, where they're just like a chunk of fried chicken.
No, that's what I'm talking about. You got to do that. That's the thing that I like about Chick-fil-A's nuggets is it is just a big chunk of chicken that gets fried. Except if these guys have a crispy, then they win. Like 100% win.
They're not that crispy, honestly.
Well, I'm sure they're still delicious. Because you just said they are, so why would you lie to me? While we're talking, I'm checking through my emails, and I just found out that I still have access to my old band's email account, which is kind of weird. Don't like that, if we're being honest. Feels a little weird.
No one's accessing the mainframe. Hacking in.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even know we had a YouTube channel. Wild. So, what I really was doing this for was so that I could pop open the podcast email, which,
ooh, okay.
For the record, I borderline never check the podcast email. There's no point in me checking the podcast email, right? I manage all of our stuff. We don't have any brand deals. There's no reason for me to not just ignore the podcast email, except when I need to sign into things. Except I signed in recently, and I had 3 different people offering to build me a website.
Whoa.
They're just
That's
like,
more than 2.
It is more than 2. I had these guys, they all had sent me a demo website and followed up with me 4 times before saying, if you don't answer this email, I'm assuming that you don't want it, and I'm going to take the website back down. And I'm like looking at these things, and I'm like, they're like from back in December, back in November. had demos sitting there, and I'm just like, why? Why are you trying to get? Why do you want to build me a web? Especially because we have a website.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a very well utilized website. There's some things that I definitely want to do with it. I want to make this bigger and actually have things. But like, it covers everything we need right now. It has a lot of information on it, and I'm quite pleased with it. And I don't know why you would want to try and force a different angle on that, you know?
Because you're trying to sell someone something.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the obvious one. But
you think we can get the podcast to be sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends?
I don't know, probably.
You think that they'll give us $10,000?
Definitely not. They'll probably be like, hey, $50 here. And they'll spit in our face, and we'll probably take it anyway.
We think we would take it? How much money would it cost for you to be sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends on the podcast?
I'd do it for $1,000.
How much would it cost for you to be sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends in your everyday life?
That's a lot more money. Because that would mean I would have to play the game a lot and just be like, oh, sorry, guys, I was distracted by this hot new mobile game, Raid Shadow Legends. And they're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, well, look here. And then I shove my phone in their face, and suddenly we're in the middle of the video ad. And it's just like, I have so many great heroes, and you too can get a great hero if you use my promo code, Suck These Nuts. And, you know, it's...
I don't know why that got me. I think the biggest problem I had with Raid is, like, honestly, when the game first came out, if, like, the free hero was a cool one, I might have signed up. But it was always like that weird guy with the turtleneck.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
why you're like, this super badass hero? It's just a bald man with a turtleneck. I'm like, you think I want to hang out with, like, Pinhead's weaker cousin?
See, my favorite was all the ones I keep seeing that the free hero was Mohawk Orc. Have you seen Mohawk Orc?
No.
Yeah, Mohawk Orc with 2 axes. And it's just like, I don't know, Ragnamag or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I don't know. Those, like, that's not cool. Those aren't the things I want. Give me like the one lady that was on in the ads, like the Night Lady, who was like just in like full like armor.
Yeah.
With like a sword. Like that was cool. She looked pretty like fire. She looked tough. Night powers and all that.
His name is fuck. Why? I'm trying to find out what the name of Mohawk Orc is, and it's just this article. It's like sexy half orcs and orcs.
Question mark? What's the question?
From dragonsfoot.com. Or I'm sorry, .org.
They are an organization, yeah.
And it's just people being like, what did they... Oh, okay. It's a forum. And okay, people are just like, why are orcs sexy now? Because they used to just be people with pig heads.
And now they're sexy.
And now they're hot. Well, I mean, shit, I can answer that. It's because people decided that they wanted to have sexy characters, and they couldn't get away with having sexy female characters without having sexy male characters too, because they had issues with that in Warcraft, where you had these big hulking brutes of male orcs, and then the female orcs are like, hello, I'm an orc, but I'm still hot. That? Yeah, they'd be like that. It's wild.
Yeah, I don't know. I think also part of it is like, as time goes on, like, I don't know, orcs, like a person, like just like a regular person with like a pig head where their head goes is lame.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not very like exciting, and there's not that much design you can do because you're basically dealing with like humans. Whereas like if you make it so like they have like, you know, like a you know, like big old incisors on their bottom jaw and like an underbite, and like they have like it's like a different like body structure overall, but are still humanoids, then you have like more to work with.
Yeah, that's
like,
actually
these are, like big old jaws and like, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually something I really liked in Dragon Age, and this was definitely an accident because if you put armor on your character, if it was dwarf armor, it fixed this problem. But they're dwarves in Dragon Age Origins. Their legs were as long as human legs, and their arms were as long as human arms, but their torso was super stubby. So if you took all their clothes off, or if you put human armor on them, they looked really weird. But if you put dwarf armor on them, they got to be the classic stocky dwarf man that you know and love, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Otherwise, they're just sitting here rocking this really weird
Y'all not rocking with dwarf?
gangly limbs. And I gotta be honest, I wish that they had stuck with that as a design choice, because short torso, long limbs was uncomfortable to look at. And I enjoyed the fact that if they did that on purpose, that's like a bold design choice that I can respect. That's weird. That's out there. That's something new and different.
Yeah, I want like thick elves.
Thick elves. You know what?
I'm not saying like I'm not saying like thick with 2 C's, like it's like a really curvy. I'm talking just like I want elves that are wide. Is no okay? Like, you know, I'm just like I'm sick of like like what?
I took a sip of seltzer when you said that, and I was imagining you're just talking about not uber dainty, super like slim feminine elves. You just wanted to have elves that had a little bit of meat on them, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. Thick elves,
I'm not
2 C's, and then
like
you're like, no,
yeah.
I want an elf that's as wide as 3 humans.
Exactly. I don't want like when I say I want thick elves, I don't mean like, well, wouldn't it be like hot if like they had like big no, like I don't care. I'm not talking about like aesthetically or like physically attractive elves. I'm talking about just like take Legolas, click and drag sideways. I want like a 300-pound elf. It's just like, yeah, I'm an elf, but I'm also fat as hell. And they're like, don't you have like incredible metabolism? So it's like, yeah, but I eat a shit ton. Like I want that to be the like, I want fat elves. That's all.
I love that idea so much.
Like, aren't you guys like, I mean, you're telling me that all elves like they're living forever, and none of them are like, you guys want to see if we can like plateau this whole metabolism thing?
That's just so good.
I hate you have no fear of like ever getting like heart disease or like liver failure, and no one is indulging too much.
I just love that idea so much. It's such an awful idea.
Yeah,
but I really want to see that happen now. You know,
I want like a really like thin and like toned male orc.
Well, that's just back on the subject of why are orcs so sexy again, which I think was the problem in the first place for the other people.
I don't care about the other people.
You know what? Fair enough. I respect that you don't care about the other people.
I want like a duo that's like, you know, like a good old 1-2 combo, and it's just like a really like slender and like muscular, but like very thin and spindly male orc, and then a just like not even like bulky, just kind of fat elf.
A fat elf and just a jacked orc.
Not jacked, thin and like
thin. Oh, I'm sorry.
So kind of like how they make elves in like all the media. Like I want an orc that has the Legolas body type, and I want an elf that's just fat. That's what media needs. That's what the media is hiding from you. Fat elves.
You know what? Okay. Okay.
Because why not? It's fantasy, right? None of it's real. None of it has to adhere to any standards. You can be like, yeah, there's a dragon. Dragon cast a spell of be fat on the elf. Why not? Adhering to like stringent and like racially charged guidelines in fantasy media is absurd. Just say that 200 years ago, a human wizard asked out the elf, and the elf said no, and then the human wizard casts a spell of gain weight.
I hate that, but it's so good.
Yeah, it can be water weight canonically. I don't care, but like, there's no reason you can't have it. And if people start like getting up in arms because of a reason they've come up with that you can't have it, then you just be like, magic spell said you can't do that. It's fantasy. Just be fun with it.
I hate that, and I love that so much. Because on one hand,
I'm not saying inserting this into some existing universe. I'm not saying like in World of Warcraft or in Lord of the Rings. I'm like in general. Just like make up your own world if it doesn't work in someone else's.
No, I get it. It's a really great like, boom, gotcha kind of thing, because it's just like, well, maybe you should exist in a world where all of your own stuff doesn't get ruined by the concept of magic did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, like it's not that my original idea is not that magic did it, but if people were like, yeah, actually, if you look through like the Silmarillion, you can see that it's actually impossible for, and you're like, okay, magic did it, because it's
I love it.
fantasy. Like it's okay to be like, hey, that's weird, and everyone's like, yep, whole thing's weird, right?
Yeah, I can get behind that. Let people have fun. Why not? I'm not going
And
to
like,
let people
and again,
have
I'm
fun,
not saying
but
like
someone should
inserting
let
this
people have
into an
fun.
existing world. I'm not saying this is like canon in Lord of the Rings. I'm just saying like, wouldn't that be like a funny like visual image to see?
But it should be canon in Lord of the Rings, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
That's what
true.
you're saying, right?
But like, imagine you got like, it's like a little buddy system in like a D&D campaign. You got like your like slender orc and your thick elf, and they're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Yes, wide Legolas. Thank you. Did you make that just now?
Yes.
No, can you put wide Legolas on the screen?
Wide Legolas
blocks your path. I just like the idea of like a notification comes with this wide Legolas blocks your path.
There's something really intimidating about wide Legolas that I don't really know what it is, because he's not as wide as I feel like he should be.
He's pretty wide though. I really like that. I think that's probably a good note to end on, right?
Oh. May as well.
What else could we possibly have to say after we've said wide Legolas?
I got nothing else to say after wide Legolas. You got me there.
Also, I'm scared my mic might cut out again.
That's a super fair thing.
What an adventure. Whew. Well, you got anything to say before we call it a day?
No, not really. Thank you to the 14th person who rated us on Apple Podcasts. Greatly appreciate that. We've been sitting at 13 for a while, so it's nice to see 14. No actual comment though, but that's fine. Thank you. Appreciate it. If you want to give us a rate on Apple Podcasts, look up Off the Air. We are a podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts. We only have our most recent 100 episodes, which is excluding the first 32.
Holy cow.
But, that's just how it is until I can figure out exactly what happened. Once again, haven't even looked into it yet. It's just like that sometimes.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Patreon at Off the Air.
Do any patron shoutouts?
Oh, we do. I haven't reached out to anyone, so we're just going to do the name shoutouts right now.
Didn't we have a Wet Cranch? Did we say Wet Cranch? Did you say Wet Cranch?
We did not say Wet Cranch yet. Shout out to Patron High for making us say Wet Cranch.
Wet Cranch.
I'm just saying, people seem to think that Cranch wings are the worst and incredibly bad.
What's Cranch?
Cranch wings, it's a dry wing that is Cajun ranch. It is not a wet wing. Good. It's supposed to be dry.
Okay.
It is not Heinz's ketchup ranch. It is a Cajun ranch, and it is dry ranch, dry Cajun, and it's really pretty good.
Yeah, I like Cajun wings a lot. I like dry wings, honestly, though. Like, I like a Cajun or a dry ranch or dry buffalo wing. I like sauce, too.
So, yeah, that type of stuff. But, yeah, I don't know. Check it out if you can find one. I think they're very much an Erie thing, though. So, if you come to Erie, check it out. In the meantime, big shout outs to Edge, Bo, and Michael. Thank you very much for supporting us through our podcasting. We have some merch plans coming up of, hey, thank you for being patrons. But yeah, we do. Okay. Just some thank you for being patrons merch. We're going to be hitting everyone up about that. Doing some internal surveys, see what people are thinking. So if you happen to hear this before I reach out to you, let me know how you feel about that. And if you're one of the people who was supposed to get a shout out in this month, being Cloud, Emma, or Sam, my bad. Please do reach out to me and we'll hit you at the very beginning of next month. Thanks everybody. Have a great day and look out for Wide Legolas.
He's coming.